homes in particular, you have higher tax basis to pay property taxes. And sometimes, like, you have a homestead is great, but the homestead is limited in terms of how much benefits you get. And so your property goes up 3 times. You're paying more, no question about it. Then if you have to buy a new home because maybe your family's growing, maybe your job took you to a different city, you're locked in at a much higher tax basis right there, and that's really tough. And so it's like, you have people, the median home price is $400-some thousand, but the median income is like $75,000, $85,000 for a family. And so how does it work where you're having to pay 10 grand a year just in property taxes? And the thing about it is, this is supposed to be your private property, but yet you could own your home for 50 years and you still got to pay the government just to live on your property. I mean, at some point, when do you own your property free and clear, or are you just always going to be paying rent to the government? So I think there's a philosophical debate that we need to have about property tax, but there's also just the practical debate, and this is not limited to Florida. If you look around the country, probably most of the people in this room, when you bought your first home, and if you did a residential mortgage, you'd look, and most of the money you would pay monthly would go to the principal and interest on the mortgage. Then you'd have some for insurance and some for taxes, but the principal and interest was always the biggest. Now, it's pretty standard across the country that the insurance plus principal and interest is more than what the taxes plus principal and interest are more than what you pay on the balance of your home. You're paying tax, you're paying insurance, and then principal and interest is less than those two combined. And so this is difficult for people. So the tax, we can't control the value of homes in the government. You wouldn't want us to try to do that. It wouldn't work. Insurance, we've done a lot of reforms. The market is stabilized. More companies are coming in. But that's very, very tricky when you've got 6 major hurricanes in 7 years. Our market is the most challenging in the country. Government can't just set a rate. If I could just say you pay $1 a month, I would do that, right? But we know that everything would collapse. It's just not, it's a private market. But the tax is purely about government, right? Government can tax or not tax. We in Florida have the opportunity, even though this is a local issue mostly, to do constitutional protections. There are things we can do in Tallahassee working with the legislature, but I think it's just, you get locked in. You should not be in a situation where you'd ever have to give up your home because you can't afford the taxes.